we're seeing right now is really a relief rally. We are far away from the end game here. The big shock coming out of Osaka was the president making unilateral concessions to China, both in scaling back the Huawei embargo and suspending the next round of tariffs, which was scheduled to be 25% on $300 billion worth of Chinese goods. So it's a relief rally, but we are far from the end game.
How do you know it's unilateral?
Well,
Huawei can't reduce
President Trump.
Huawei can't reduce its dependence. Huawei can't reduce its dependence on U.S. policy. But go ahead.
Ben, I'll ask you.
President Trump did say that he had some commitments from President Xi to pick up purchases of U.S. goods, in particular farm goods. But Chinese state media is absolutely denying it. And we've yet to hear anyone from the administration provide evidence that China's really made any commitments here.
James, you seemed anxious to speak, so I'll let you do so. But answer a question for me. Did we give up a lot on Huawei and get very little in return, in your opinion?
So far, we haven't given up anything, and it's not clear what relief Huawei will get. The chip companies, some of the big companies like Google that do the Android software, they're probably happy, but Huawei would have gone out of business within a year, or at least they wouldn't have been able to make the same quality products. They depend on the U.S., so this was a lifeline. I think it's also holding Huawei hostage to progress in the trade talks. If it doesn't look like it's going the right way, the president can always put controls back on. So think of it more as a ploy to get progress in the trade talks rather than a reprieve.
So how do you reconcile what we've heard, the rhetoric we've heard over the past months, but really years, about Huawei being a national security concern? How can it be a bargaining chip and a national security concern at the same time? And we're already hearing people, lawmakers like Senator Rubio, speak out. So where do you go from here?
Well, this is the big problem. I mean, the president, on the one hand, has said that Huawei is a national security threat. On the other hand, he said in the run-up to the summit that he anticipates Huawei being part of a final deal. So the administration has yet to reconcile this dilemma, whether we're going to treat Huawei purely as a national security concern or whether it's a bargaining chip to get a trade deal with China.
So, James, on that topic as well, do you think that the president is going to be able to use Huawei as a bargaining chip, especially since we're already seeing this pushback and many, including himself, has said it's a national security concern?
It's a national security concern only when people buy Huawei products. So Huawei itself isn't the problem. It's when you install Huawei equipment on your networks, particularly if you're a NATO country. So you can pursue both policies at once, keeping Huawei afloat so they can sell to places like Africa and encouraging our European friends not to buy from them. So it's a little complicated, but it's the technology that will determine whether or not Huawei is a success. So he has them on a choke leash.